Whiteboard videos may look like they're just made by an artist drawing at superhuman speed, but there's actually a bit more involved. Here's a quick walkthrough of how we produce videos at Whiteboard Geeks. Every video starts out as a simple script, either written by our scriptwriters or by you. Once a script is finalized, you're ready to start the production process. This process kicks off in the audio studio, where we record the voiceover. An audio studio is kind of like an insulated thermos, with an outside compartment and an inside compartment, only instead of keeping out the cold, it keeps out sound. Both the outer walls and the walls inside the inner compartment, called the sound booth, are lined with noise-resistant foam designed to absorb and scatter the unwanted sound. But even still, sound waves can bounce around and make your audio sound cloudy, so the best studios are smaller than 10 square feet, less room for stray sound waves. If you've ever seen a radio DJ's mic or a behind-the-scenes look at a recording studio, you'll find the same thing here. In front of the mic, there's a round screen called a pop filter. Otherwise, the P's come out hurting your ears. Behind the pop filter is a professional studio mic. To make sure there's no buzzing or background noise in your video, the mic has a polar pattern, which is basically a 3D map to tell it what to listen to. The microphone has a built-in memory chip where the high-fidelity audio files will be saved directly. This helps reduce clutter from cables and computers in the tiny audio booth. Recording high-fidelity or high-quality audio files allows more flexibility in the editing later on, and it just makes narration sound better. While the audio is being recorded, work has already started on the storyboards. Using all digital tools, the storyboard artist gets to work as soon as the script is complete. Storyboarding is the most time-consuming part of making your whiteboard video, because the artist has to imagine unique images for every part of the script. First, the artist will break the script into different sections called frames. Then, using a Wacom tablet and Adobe Photoshop, the same tools that are used by studios like Pixar and Disney, they'll sketch out pictures to go with each chunk of text. Pro tip: videos get boring if the artist has big breaks in between drawings, so we make sure to have plenty of images. Now, there's a reason for using these high-tech tools, just like the Hollywood studios do. By starting off with digital images, it's much easier to tweak the drawings until we get them just right. Once the storyboards are finished, they're put into a Word document or PowerPoint file and made to look like a high-res digital comic book, then sent to you for review. The last step for storyboarding is to add numbers. Each image in a scene gets a number, so you can see exactly what order they'll be drawn in. Once you OK the storyboards, it's time to get recording. Let's head to the video recording studio. The video recording studio is centered around a large drawing table with a whiteboard mounted to it at a 35-degree angle. The position and orientation of the drawing table are important to make sure that the artist doesn't block the view from the camera with their body as they work. For all our recording, we use a Canon Rebel T3i camera mounted directly above the drawing table, perpendicular to the whiteboard. The T3i is a single-lens reflex camera, called an SLR, with an interchangeable telephoto lens. Being able to change the lens allows us to customize our setup for whiteboard recording. We use a lens set at a 55mm focal length because this most closely mimics the human eye and minimizes distracting lens distortion, which can cause the drawings to look warped. Think of it as getting rid of the fisheye effect. This is the same kind of camera that has been used to shoot anything from documentaries to Hollywood-style films. But here's one of the biggest differences of our studio. Instead of using a tripod, which can be kinda wobbly, the camera is actually mounted with a metal frame bolted to the ceiling and wall. Wobbles might not seem like a big deal, but when you speed your video up, small wobbles are amplified and make it look like there's an earthquake happening while the artist is drawing and can ruin the whole shot. 4 studio lights, each containing 500 LED bulbs, are set up around the drawing table in a horseshoe shape to keep the lighting even. This is important to minimize shadows from the environment and from the artist's hand. It makes it easier to adjust the color and brightness of the video later on during the post-production stage. Pro tip: it's critical to use LEDs and not normal bulbs. You can't see it at regular speed, but normal lights are pulsing very quickly. The problem is, When you speed up your whiteboard footage, it looks like the lights are turning on and off and can make your video look terrible. With all the equipment in place, the artist sits down to record the drawing. They'll start the camera and draw a frame, then stop the camera, breaking the video up into smaller clips which will be reassembled later. The artist will draw at a normal, comfortable speed, taking care to produce high-quality art. The editing team has the ability to speed the video up later on, so there's no need to rush at all. Typically, the final video will play about 100 times faster than the artist actually drew the images. When finished, the artist passes the video files to the editing team on a mini flash stick and turns off all the equipment. As soon as the artist delivers the video files to the editing room, the post-production team uploads them onto our $10,000 Mac Pro computer, specially designed for video production. There, they'll be imported into Final Cut Pro, the same software used to edit your favorite Hollywood films, along with the audio files from the voiceover studio. Using professional editing tools makes a huge difference in the final outcome of the video. Not only does the Mac Pro run the software used to edit the video together, it also powers software which converts all the clips into a single, high-resolution image file. We call this rendering. This takes massive amounts of computing power to render a video, and the Mac Pro can finish a rendering much faster than most other computers. First, the editing team reviews the raw video and audio clips. It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised at how much time it can save just being sure the artist didn't forget to record any frames from the storyboard, or, worst of all, misspell something. Once the footage is checked, it gets sped up about 50 times to give the fast drawing effect. Then the audio clips are trimmed to fit in with the drawings. This is where they also add any camera movement animation, like panning, sliding side to side, or zooming in and out. They call this keyframing, and it gives more control over where the viewer focuses. When all the clips are in place, they use Final Cut Pro, the same software used by Legendary Pictures, the producers of films like Interstellar and Jurassic World, to color correct the video. You see, when it's first recorded, the video has a dull bluish color, so the editor will push and pull the color levels to get the video looking brighter. Finally, they'll drop in any final music overlays or sound effects and begin the render. First, the editor will render a standard definition preview, since it's the fastest way for you to get the video and give comments. The editing team will keep a watermark, which looks like a transparent version of our logo, in the video, until we receive final approval and payment for the video. Once any last tweaks are made, they'll render it into a high-definition 1080p.mov file. You can also get any other file type you need, optimized for TV, your website, a training portal, or a conference screen. That's it! Once you get your HD video file, the production process is finished. While there are quite a few steps to the process, making a whiteboard video isn't too complicated if you have the right tools. If you're interested in learning more or getting a whiteboard video yourself, click the link below or click here to learn how a great script is put together.